So a couple months ago, I posted this video about the Canadian real estate market crashing. And I've never been so sad to be right in one of my videos. Some people just refuse to believe that the Canadian real estate market would actually crash. And unfortunately, the downturn has deepened. So I'm gonna do what so few others do and update you on how the market has reacted through these crazy indicators and these crazy times in Canada. Unfortunately, our worst fears are being realized right now, and the crash is happening and occurring today in Canada. And I'm not just making outrageous claims here and walking out the door. We're gonna track it and see what in the world is going on with our beautiful and troubled country, Canada. And it's not about tooting my own horn. I just want you guys to protect your money. So if you didn't listen to my last video, you swept it under the rug, please watch this video carefully because I wanna help you protect your money in Canada. Sadly, it turns out the home prices hit their peak in March of 2022. Since then, they have been going down, which is exactly when interest rates began going up in Canada. In March, the median home price in Canada was at $377,000. In August, the median home price in Canada went down to $365,000. So on average, each home has taken a $10,000 price reduction in Canada, and we are only at the beginning. In the US, interest rates have gone up much faster than Canada, and in Canada, they've only gone up by 1%. But remember, the US only doubled their money supply, Canada 5x their money supply. They need to be increasing their interest rates way faster than the US. The reason the Canadian government has not increased rates even further is because they're worried. They're worried that if they increase the interest rates just a little bit more, the market is going to have a total meltdown. And their worries are true, but honestly, I think they're going to be stuck in a corner where their only option is to increase interest rates and cause the market to go down even further. But because they have not raised them faster, inflation has run rampant here in Canada more than the US. Canada is going to have to increase rates even further, fast, and it's not going to be pretty. The Royal Bank of Canada actually did a special housing report which came out August 4th, 2022, going through all the different housing markets across Canada and seeing how they have been affected since the beginning of the year. Here's what they said, and I quote, "Soaring interest rates have been the catalyst for this widespread correction. Higher borrowing costs have pushed many buyers to the sidelines and reduced the purchasing budget of others. Our expectations for further hikes by the Bank of Canada, another 75 basis points to go in the overnight rate by the fall, will keep chilling the market in the months ahead." Wow, even the RBC, which is the Royal Bank of Canada, thinks this is just the beginning. We are just at the beginning of this real estate market crash and correction in Canada, but we are starting to see little bits and pieces of the real estate market crash and correction occurring. The RBC goes on to say, Canada's least affordable markets, Vancouver and Toronto and their surrounding regions, are most at risk in light of their excessively stretched affordability and outsized price gains during the pandemic. If you're in Toronto or Vancouver, you have been warned. The markets that have had the most explosive growth over the last few years, like Toronto and Vancouver, are most at risk for this upcoming recession. The people who once bought rental properties in Canada to rent them out and make cash flow in 2018 and 2019 are now coming up on year 5. And year 5 is the year most people need to refinance their properties in Canada. With a refinance at these rates, these properties will not be making any money anymore. These homeowners will be forced to put their properties up on the market, which is really going to increase the amount of inventory. If you think home prices have gone down a lot, be prepared to have them slide down even further. All right, so this is crazy. Ari Alstetter talked to rental investors in his latest article in Bloomberg and said this: "The financials on the suburban condo purchased as an investment property just 4 months earlier no longer made sense. Rents could no longer cover interest payments on the mortgage after a 6-fold jump in the central bank rate." This investor had just purchased the property at the beginning of 2022 and unfortunately with an adjustable rate mortgage, which is actually pretty common in Canada. Since the interest rates have been going up just in this 1 year, the rental property has gone from cash flowing to losing him money every single month. This is within 6 months, which is just unheard of. And this isn't just for one real estate investor. Real estate investors in Canada that have bought houses in the last 4 to 5 years are all going to get hit with the same reality very soon. One by one, their properties are going to go from making money to losing it. Ari Alstetter goes on to state that a huge portion of investors have chosen floating rate mortgages over the past few years. Any interest rate that isn't locked in is going to be at risk. The Federal Reserve is far from done. That rate is going to be consistently rising because the Canadian government is still, after everything, just trying to fight inflation. Also, here's one more sobering statistic. Nearly 1/5 of real estate investors in Canada are taking out HELOCs on their old rental properties that they've owned for a while. Now, the problem with this is that every single HELOC in Canada has a floating interest rate. So what that means is that if the interest rate goes up, then that will adjust on a month-to-month basis the amount of interest they have to pay. Especially if 1/5 of the investors are getting home equity lines of credits and using those to go and buy more properties, every single month they're losing more and more money. And without even looking at the HELOCs, investors in Toronto and Vancouver were hardly making any cash flow to begin with. If you were just to go and buy a rental property over the last few years in Toronto or Vancouver, you were hardly making any money on $1 million property. Now, obviously, if you had a HELOC, you're probably losing a ton of money every single month today because the interest rates have gone up. With these high prices on homes, everyone has been playing the appreciation game. It wasn't really a cash flow game to go and buy rentals in Canada. They were more focused on, if I could buy $1 million property, could it be worth $2 million in 5 or 10 years, and could I refinance and pull that money out and continue my real estate investing game based on appreciation. Now when they have to refinance, they're going to be deeply in the red, and it's going to make every investor heavily reconsider their choices. So what does it all mean, Antoine? Well, it means to be careful. The worst is yet to come. I predicted that rates would go up and home values would go down. Well, this is just the beginning. The government has not done nearly enough to combat inflation, and they are going to have to increase interest rates significantly, and hopefully they do it very fast. There is a point that they will hit, which is probably 40 to 50% of the current home value, where many homeowners are going to be underwater and things are going to get scary. A lot of real estate investors are going to try to tread water for the next couple of months, but honestly, many of them are going to be left drowning in debt, especially if they have HELOCs and other interest rates that are constantly revolving and constantly going up. A lot of these properties, portfolios, and vacation rentals are going to hit the market in the coming months when they are forced to sell. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's going to be a complete disaster. So based on all this, what the hell should you do about it? So I think if you're a homeowner in Canada, I would probably list or sell your house right now. The reason why is because I think if you wait for the next couple months, you're not going to be able to get the property value that you think you can sell the property for. Please like and subscribe to my channel because I want to help you protect your money. And I want to make sure you can weather this storm that is going to happen in Canada, and this is the only channel where you can get this kind of information. See you on the next one.